Greetings, boys and gits, and welcome again to Wargaming! In today's episode, we're having another third-party focus look, and this is our third instalment of the third-party focus series. We're going to be looking at Puppets War. But before we look at the fantastic models on offer from Puppets War, let's take a look at the news. Fantastic new reporter we've got actually. It's 6+ Stevo. You know him? Oh yeah, he's fantastic, isn't he? He's a really nice guy. Fantastic fella, yeah. Really, heart of gold, fantastic. Wouldn't say a bad word against us, that's why I thought he'd be good for the channel. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's sound. He's a spot diamond fella. Okay, right, no problem. Hello and welcome to the news. In today's news, those spiky-headed chaos prickheads have got themselves some new models. Reporting on the situation is 6+ Stevo.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He said that. Freebooters are better than bad moons. The guy's an idiot. What? Sorry, we're live. Okay. Thank you, Dread. Well, it seems that Games Workshop have pledged their allegiance to the dark gods of the warp. And no, before you say it, I do not refer to the true gods, Gork and Mork. I do, of course, refer to the gods of chaos. Yes, with a new range of miniatures set for release very soon, Chaos Space Marine players have a lot to be excited about. In fact, I can report that pre-orders have already gone live for a new Chaos Space Marine kit and a beautifully designed new Abaddon the Despoiler miniature. Chaos Havocs and Chaos Terminators are said to follow shortly after.
Can't believe he'd say that. What an arsehole. Thank you, Stevo. That's... Well, how do the rest of the community feel about this?
Well, Dread, the community is divided on this. As you can imagine, Chaos Space Marine players and the 40k community at large are very positive. However, feelings amongst Greenskin players are less so. Although they do agree that the new range looks fantastic, questions are now being raised by prominent figures in regards to Games Workshop treatment of the Orks during their releases in October. One anonymous source told the news team, "This is utter bollocks. The spiky boys is getting all the good stuff and all we've got was some mono-build buggies. They even got a new boss and Gazzy got nothing." So, as you can see, Dread, saltiness remains over October and it shows no sign of abating anytime soon. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, that was 6+ Stevo reporting for Wargaming. In other news, the Wargaming release schedule is now available to view for what it's worth, so you can see what we have coming for you. Very good if you ask me, and I do ask me myself, so I think it's awesome. In other news, the Iddick Beer Terrain Square Block Challenge will be drawing to a close in the coming weeks. So get your models together, guys. I myself have been working on mine and I decided that the Grot Tank factory hidden in a scrapyard needs to be broken down because it looked rather large when I was working on it on the last episode, which I'll throw a link to just here. But what I decided to do was to break it down into 4 sections. So I've got the Grot Tank shed, I've got the Mech's Garage or the Mech Boy Workshop model, the hoist of that with a bit of scrap behind it. That's going to be in the yard as such. And then at the front, we've got scrap coming around with a little gate that's going to have probably a door on it saying nothing to see here or something like that to keep the Orks out from wondering what's going on inside the scrap heap with the little grots. And then further around, I've got another little island of scrap with a tunnel running through it. I'll throw up some pictures here. This is as far as I've got at the moment. I've just used a bit of foam, a few existing bits of terrain and some das clay. That's all I've done really at the moment, but I'm going to base it with some thin ply, going to add some more filler and all that sort of stuff, and I've got loads of junk to add to the scrap piles, of course. So I've been picking out loads of kids' toys and broken bits and bobs, so that's going to be taking some progression hopefully, and hopefully I can get at least one of the segments done in time for the end of the competition. And fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, I think rather unfortunate as far as this kind of news is concerned, that is all we have this week. There isn't too much news out there. So, I won't make stuff up, I won't drag it out too far. We'll see you next week for some proper news, hopefully. Right, you gits, we best get back to the main content of this here video, and that's Puppets War. Puppets War are based in Poland, and they were established in 2010. It started as a co-op of artists putting together a few designs, and then when they designed a few models that they were happy with, they had to learn how to cast those models, which isn't very easy for anybody to actually have to learn to cast. So they started off as just designers and then learnt to cast later on. So as they developed the business on, it became what it is now. So now you have Arta, who is the owner, the main man behind Puppets War. Then you have Adrian. Adrian is the head designer. And then you have 3 other artists that are also collaborating and putting together the designs for the models. And then you have 4 admin staff, which deal with people like me who send in messages and requests asking for stuff, and all of the other admin responsibilities that there are. Puppets War are doing a fantastic 50% off sale on a lot of their range. The reason for this is that they're actually revamping the range. They're going to be putting a lot more detail into a lot of their models and making them easier to cast for themselves, because they've learned as they've come along, and rather than just move on to new projects, they are actually refocusing on things that they've already done and making them better, which I think is a really good way to be. So I'm glad of that. This 50% off sale also includes some very good Ork models. So you've got the plane, which is a really good stand-in for a death copter. You've also got the flying coffin, which is another good stand-in for a Dakka jet or something similar. And there's the war bus, which is another good stand-in for a truck. And in fact, I've got that and I've worked on it a little bit, and I'll show you that in a little while. I've also got the plane, so I'm about to show you that now. This is probably the most iconic of their kits, funny enough. I think it happened kind of accidentally, but this is the plane, and the plane is really popular as a stand-in. Maybe it's because the GW Death Copters, the best ones, aren't available and they haven't really bothered with them. Maybe that's why these are so popular, but I think it's just because it's such a cool looking mini. So you can build it with a driver in there leaning out, and it comes with a couple of heads, I think. Actually, there's a choice, or maybe it's just the one. He's got his tongue hanging out, leaning over the side. Very, very cool. Or you can put a window in there instead if you want it to be a completed plane. That can slide on instead. Probably need a bit of heat bending on this front bit just to pull it back a little bit. But yeah, it comes with some cool little rockets too. So if you don't use them on this, you've got them for spares elsewhere, which is always fun. A couple of pointy type rockets, some weapony bits, the tail of the plane and stuff like that. But really cool model, and again, this is one of the ones that they're going to be renewing, so I can't wait to see what the new plane is going to be. But this one is iconic, so I couldn't help but grab one because they're so awesome. I already had one actually, so yeah, I'm just building up my Waaagh as you do. The one thing to note with obviously with the resin there, as you can see, the resin varies. Let's say that the quality or the formula has changed between the different ones. So some might be a bit harder, some might be a bit softer, and there is a little bit, but not too much cleaning to do on these things too. So there's a few little tabs and things to clean off, but nothing major. So generally a big thumbs up for ease of construction and detail of parts and stuff like that. One thing I will say though is that they do definitely use mold release spray, because the resin is very, very, very greasy when you receive it. So do give it a wash in some soapy liquid. I recommend Castile soap, because Castile soap is awesome and it's natural and it's good for the environment, so use it. Ork jump engines. Now these are another one of the products that were on the 50% off sale, because these are a line that they are going to actually be replacing. They're actually going to be remaking them, upgrading them, just to make new casts and stuff. So when they do that, they generally make the detailing better. So I thought I'd grab a few at 50% off. Why not? Because you don't have to use these as for Storm Boys packs at all. I mean, these are great as actual rocket weapons to strap onto your Dakka jets and such like. You know, these are rockets for all occasions, really. So I just thought they're very Orky, they're very cool. I'll show you this one here. Focus. Yeah, there we are. It's got Orky dags and stuff all over it. See, they're very nicely detailed, you know, and it's a lot of work making those things yourself. So when you're doing a scratch building project where you're looking to have a few kit bashed bits, these are the bits of kit bash that you want to be using, mate. This is that's going to make things easy. I mean, you can use that as an engine on all sorts of things. Doesn't necessarily have to be a jump engine, does it? Awesome. So yeah, I think those are well worth a punt. I bought 2 sets so that, you know, if I am using them on a plane or as rockets or something like that, or engines on a plane, then I can have them on either side, so I'm not, you know, only stuck with the one. So as soon as they're a limited edition now, because they're going to be replaced, I thought I'd get 2 lots. So there you go. Fantastic. Not in my order, but sent out to me anyway by the fantastic Puppets War. They actually gave me one of their Dreadnoughts, which with all the options. So I've got both turret tops. I've got them. This is the part of the body. This is the waist, so that goes on there. And then we've got where are we now? We've got the legs. So these are parts of the legs with big stompy feet. So they go on there. They go on there. They go on there. So it's like that. And then you've got a variation of different heads that I can put in there. So I can put this one on to make it like a complete Orky face. So that's fairly cool. And funny enough, in the shots that you see on the website, you don't really notice how Orky facey that is. So I think at least this part is definitely going to go in a sort of like a dark green, like a Dark Angels green or something like that. Some kind of dark green that sort of represents painted metal to look as if it's orc skin, you know, just a very crash attempt by the orcs to make it look like an orc, just to make it a little bit more obvious. I like that on some gargants and stompers and stuff when the heads are in green anyway. I like that look, so that's what I'll probably do with that. And then you've got this other drop in, which is so you can actually see the driver, and I actually really like this guy. The driver's really cool. He's like crazy as hell. Look at him holding on to that thing, pulling it from side to side. Crazy eyes on him. Look, he's mad as hell. Love it, absolutely love it. That's my favourite part of this model, is that dude. He is funny. I really like him. I'd like that head on its own as it is, as an individual little head. That's fun. Also comes with the arms, of course, which will go on there like that. And they join to where's the clumpy chunky bits? Another arm piece like that, and you can magnetise that section there if you want to, or just stick it together. But if you want to be able to move it around, you can magnetise there. That's why the recesses are there, and there's a recess there for a magnet, so you can magnetise the weapons options. So you've got various different. You've got a pincher vice, liking the chipping on that. That was cool, handy, and you can use that elsewhere. That's the good thing about magnetising. You can always use things elsewhere. We've got a nice clawy claw. Very powerful looking claw. That'd be nice as a replacement on a if you're doing a conversion of a Space Marine Dreadnought. That would work really well on that, I think. And then we've got some like other weapon options. So we've got some big cannons, and some other rockety launcher things. They're Orky enough. Cool. Don't look too imperial, which is good. Nice bit of patchwork on them and stuff. And what else we got? Oh, some kind of gatler. Nice. Yeah, so a cool model. I might have to start putting that together and get at least an undercoat on it. So, this here is the War Bus. This is a Puppets War product that I have slightly modified, not too much. They're recasting it. And I've got to be honest, I'm glad they are, because it's a fantastic model. It is a beautiful design. I really do like it, and it comes with a roof as well that goes on the back here, but mine never fit properly. Since I got it, it was a bit out of shape, as you can see by this ladder here. I mean, it was all higgledy-piggledy, and there was a bit of a mess behind here, so some of these bits that I've added on were kind of necessary to hide some of the issues. Like there's a broken bit up here as well, so it was a kit that definitely needed an upgrade. Needed some of the broken bits fixed, and putting these two lumps together is not great fun either. There's a lot of big gaps and stuff. So yeah, it's heavy, but it's beautiful. I really do like it. What I've done in the back here is, rather than have the bus back that wouldn't fit on, is I've just got a load of junk in there. So there's a box there, there's some panels on the floor, there's a holder there for a couple of shooters, and here's a flat platform that I'm going to go building up something on with some magnets in it, so I could drop a grabber claw or a ball, a dozer ball or whatever, any kind of those sort of things can be added on later on if I want to magnetically then. And same with up here, just out the top of the roof hatch, I've put a magnet there, so then I can put a big shooter or a weapon up there if I want to mount a weapon on it. Just give you the other side there, got another little ladder. Change the wheels, or the front wheels at least. I swapped them with some others that I had. But yeah, I haven't done too much to it, just, a few little modifications just to make it that little bit prettier. But yeah, that's a really cool model though, I think, and I'm really looking forward to painting it. Actually, I've got to get on with that. Another fantastic model by Puppets War is this, the Gust of Us, which also comes sold separately as just the platform like that. Now that is an awesome piece of kit. I mean, just having that alone, I've just give it started undercoating it with some rust, so that's why it's all brown. But what an awesome start for any sort of, if you want to make yourself your own little orc tank. I mean, it's a bit bigger than a grot tank, so like I put a Forge World grot tank down next to it. Now these Forge World ones are your normal size grot tank, that's your average size, so it is bigger. So I mean, it would either be a boss grot tank or a small orc tank, but I think it's just really awesome. I really like it, it's really cool. And with this on the top, it's got a couple of different weapons that go in this tip. But yeah, I mean, look at, again, it's got a really cool driver, dude. This actually comes off too. Take that off, that's magnetised on. So look at him, look, he's winding, he's got his tongue sticking out the side. Don't know if you can really, but yeah, really cool. I think this comes out. That comes out as well, yeah. I actually put the magnet in the wrong place to start with on this. I don't know, I think I started drilling out there for no apparently good reason. But once I figured it out, no problem. But yeah. Oh, cool, blimey. Yeah, I think that is a really awesome piece of kit, and it's very cheap too. It's not very expensive, so nice. I mean, you can use it just as a mech gun, or you can use it as a I mean, mech gun is probably your best bet. You can use it as a grot tank, or like I say, you can take this off entirely, put your own turret on it. All sorts of things. I like to play around, and I'm not a strict rules guy, so sod it, have fun with Orks, that's the point, innit? I do have something of a new product from Puppets War. These are actually the Ork wheels that they just recently released. So there I've got the smallest ones, and clearly they're made for bikes and the like. That's why they've got slick tyres, I'd say. And then you've got the medium ones, which have got some fantastic detail on them. They've got the chains for snow or dirt, and the armour on them as you're used to seeing on sort of truck wheels and stuff. And then we've got these iron wheels, which are a typical old Ork classic, and these are the sort of wheels that a lot of scratch builders will make themselves, because wheels are very difficult to make. They really are hard. So obviously wheels like this have been used, or have probably been made in a computer program and then printed out or whatever, because that would have been so very difficult to sculpt. But this, though, that could have been sculpted, and probably was. It's a fantastic little wheel nonetheless. I like it. And last but not least, we have this wheel, which, I mean, good luck sculpting that ever. Good luck to you. Because that's so hyper detailed, it's unreal. So really lovely, really orky, really like it. And I think you will too, guys, so check them out. Well, talking of puppets war makes me think of the word puppet. I don't know how that happened, but it just kind of did. I've had a little burning question to ask the community, or not so much a question, but a request. I have a big plan for the channel that involves puppets. And I am looking for somebody who is a soft puppet maker. Someone that makes puppets like Muppets or Sesame Street style puppets. Think like the Cookie Monster and stuff like that. Basically, I'm going to have this thing on the channel and I think it's going to be really good. I just need someone to make me the puppet. So if anybody knows a soft puppet maker who is experienced, has got some good work behind them, if they got some 40k knowledge, it's helpful, but I can teach them what I need to teach them anyway, it's fine. I just need a couple of things, and I'm willing to pay, and I'm also willing to give them a load of coverage and advertise what they do on my channel, of course. And if I use their puppet, it's going to be used regularly, so yeah, hopefully their work will get known. And now, you gits, it's that time you've all been waiting for. It's Dear Dread. Ender asks, what even is 40k? And what are orcs? Are they something from Lord of the Rings or what? Good question, Ender. And it's something I really should have covered in the Ork Central series. I should have thought about that. In hindsight, I should have put it at the beginning of that. So really, that's something it's way too broad of a subject to answer in Dear Dread. So I'll actually have to do a video on that. So I'll put that in the Ork Central series when I get around to it. But good idea. I will definitely do a beginner's guide for noobs and people that are just interested or are watching my videos and going, yeah, but what is that? So yeah, thanks, Ender. Simon asks, Dear Dread, I'm liking the new format to the videos. Will you be sticking with the format? Will it be changing or will it be evolving? And where do you see the channel in a year's time? Well, Simon, that is a good question. I was born in the mid-80s, so I was a kid in the 90s, and I grew up with 90s kids TV. And for me, I just wanted to create something of a channel where it was all about orcs, but it wasn't just bits and bobs or whatever. It was more feeling like an actual episode of something that I used to watch as a kid. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for, something a bit Blue Peter, smart, art attack-ish, you know, just, I mean, a grown-up version of, like, you know, something that feels a little bit reminiscent of, but isn't entirely like, you know, that with a slap of orc. As for where I want to go in the future, well, who knows? I've got some ideas though. I want to get some puppets, as you might have seen in my earlier little segment there, but also I want to collaborate with an animator or something like that and have an actual orky cartoon or something like that, you know, that'd be awesome. Also, I like the idea of lots of collaborations with a lot of the other channels out there, so that's why I'm doing that in the news segment, where I'm using other channels or other presenters of other channels as reporters in the news, because I really want to create a bit of a community, because I really want to have a relationship with all these other creators, so that if I do something of a panel show or a game show or anything like that, something that gets all your favourite heads together, then I've already made the connection. So that's sort of where I'm aiming towards. I want to do a lot more building and painting, of course, because that is kind of one of the stimuluses for doing the channel in the first place. So look for a lot more of that as well. But there'll be loads of special exciting stuff coming, especially when I get hold of my puppet. And now, boys and gits, it's time for the Community Showcase. This week's Community Showcase features models by Eric Johns. Eric has taken some of the Rust Point line by Death Ray Designs and converted them up to be more orky. Now, I really appreciate these at this moment in time, because I'm actually building my grot tank secret scrap heap, and finding these images has really sort of inspired me a little bit with my build, and I'm looking maybe at getting some of these Death Ray Designs Rust Point line myself, because they do look bloody awesome, and I like what Eric has done with them to make them more orky. So very inspiring, Eric. Thank you for sharing them. I hope the rest of you guys enjoy them too. If you're interested in any of the Puppets War products, then please do hop on over to their website. It's actually packed full of great stuff. So check it out, guys. And if you're interested in taking part in the Dear Dread segment and you want to write a Dear Dread and ask me a question to be answered, or you would like your finished orc models to feature in the community showcase, or you know a soft puppet maker, then please do get in contact with me. I'm the Dread Captain on Facebook, and I have a group called the Dread Wargaming group on Facebook. There's also my Instagram, which is dread_war_gaming. So I'm fairly easy to find, guys. So just get in contact and let me know. All right, see you in the next one. And finally, that's it. In fact, that's all we have time for in the news, or that's all we have stories for in the news. The reason that they are now being discounted at 50% off, which is a traffic. Puppets War are based in Poland, and they were... And I did say I was going to do a giveaway. It's more of a competition, really. Oh. What I'm going to do is a challenge in order to win yourself a box of balls. A box of balls is what you're going to win.